Winning Places is about London 2012, the Olympics. We thought it would be great to do this project with the senior Bs in Hackney and to also work with you in the North East, so we get a picture on how the Olympics are affecting people who live right on the doorstep, and what does it mean to us in the North, and what does our sporting building memories mean to us in the North as well. The group in Hackney was saying, well, how's it going to affect our lives? We've got this huge stadium, the huge Olympic village being built in our neighbourhood. How's it going to improve life for us? How's it going to regenerate our neighbourhood and make it a better place to live?
FaulknerBrowns as a practice, we've over the last 40 years, they've built themselves a reputation for doing a lot of sports buildings, and a lot of swimming pools in particular. This was actually the first project I worked on at FaulknerBrowns when I joined, and this was built for the 1991 World Student Games in Sheffield, and bizarrely enough, incredibly enough, was the first 50-metre Olympic-sized pool to be built in the UK in 40 years. Incredible statistic that. But because, again, we were very concerned about doing two things, getting the elite level right and getting the community aspect right, we did a huge amount of research. For community use, it meant that we could park these bulkheads in the middle of the pool, float the floating floors up, and you could create 3 separate pools, 2 of which could be shallow water, and you get your community use back into it. And by having that kind of flexibility, you do get a lot more use out of the building, but you've got to go and talk to the client and persuade them to spend extra to actually invest in that kind of flexibility. So really the question is, are you designing a building for this big, fantastic show-off event? If the typical lifespan of a building is 40 years, which it should be at least 40 years when you're spending that kind of money, what are you going to do for the rest of the time? Particularly as sport itself at the elite level becomes more of a showmanship sort of event. And actually the gulf between elite sport and community sport, I think, is actually widening. And it's very difficult to bridge that gap.
Certainly has helped architects. I assumed architects were glorified draftsmen. But when you said about what you've got to think about before you put that together, you know, before you give your plans, I'm gobsmacked.
Good. Good reaction.